For a moment, Callan couldn't see anything. The lights in the abandoned outpost had snapped off so cleanly it felt like someone poured ink over the world. Then, footsteps. Slow, measured, deliberate. Marcus Vale's voice floated through the dark. You two were always the most stubborn soldiers I trained. That's why you're still alive. That's why we need you. Callan raised his rifle, listening for movement. Lyra pressed her back against his, knife drawn despite her injuries. Her whisper was barely audible. He's playing us. Callan nodded. Marcus continued. You think the Black Choir is the enemy. You think the serpents hunt you for sport. But this jungle, this entire region, has bigger players. Callan exhaled slowly. Turn the lights on, Marcus. Or I'll shoot first and ask questions never. A chuckle. Very well. The lights flickered back to life. Marcus stood 15 meters away, unarmed, hands behind his back. Around him, 6 Iron Serpent operators stepped out of the shadows. Armored, helmeted, weapons raised. Callan muttered. Well shit. Lyra answered under her breath. Language. Marcus took a step forward. His uniform was immaculate, his hair perfectly slicked back. He looked nothing like the man they last saw bleeding out on a battlefield. I didn't die, Marcus said calmly. I adapted. I survived when command abandoned our entire squad. Just like you did. Lyra's glare could have cut steel. You betrayed us long before that. Marcus ignored her. The Black Choir resurrected itself because certain governments needed a shadow force. A tool. Disposable assets. He spread his hands. And now there is a new faction rising. A network. A coalition of ex-commanders, warlords, and intelligence defectors. Callan scoffed. You mean mercenaries and criminals? Marcus smirked. Visionaries, actually. He pointed at Lyra. She is the last surviving medic from Unit Theta. She knows the antidote to the Crimson Spore. Callan froze. No, that was classified. Buried. Marcus nodded. And she can resurrect it. Lyra felt the ground tilt beneath her feet. Memories she locked away rushed back. A village dying. A covert bioweapon test gone wrong. Command blaming rebels. Her team sent to contain the outbreak. She saved who she could. Watched the others burn. Callan whispered. Lyra, you never told me. She swallowed. It was supposed to never happen again. Marcus smiled. But it will. Because this jungle has more secrets than you imagine. Marcus stepped closer. We don't want to kill you. We want you to join us. Imagine the power to choose which nations fall and rise. Imagine ending wars before they start. Imagine shaping the world. Callan laughed once. That's the speech of a tyrant. Marcus shrugged. Tyrant. Savior. Perspective. He nodded to the serpents. Lower your weapons. The armored troops hesitated, then obeyed. Marcus extended a hand. Come with me. Work for me. No more orders from cowards in suits. No more being used and thrown away. Lyra stared at his hand, then said, Marcus, what happened to you? His eyes hardened. Reality. Callan leaned toward Lyra, his voice low. You know what I'm thinking. She nodded. You're thinking the same thing I am. Callan's fingers twitched toward his rifle. Lyra subtly shifted her stance. Marcus noticed. Don't be stupid, he warned. You're surrounded. Callan flashed a grin. I'm surrounded with style. And at that moment, Lyra threw her knife. Callan fired 3 shots. Chaos erupted. The knife struck Marcus's shoulder. He stumbled back with a shout. Callan dropped into a slide, firing under a table. A serpent fell. Lyra kicked another square in the knee and snatched his pistol as he dropped. Gunfire tore through the room. Glass shattered. Screens exploded. The map table flipped. Lyra ducked behind a crate, firing controlled bursts. Callan rolled behind a console, reloading in seconds. Callan left, she yelled. He spun and fired blind. 2 more enemies down. But then, a grenade clattered across the floor. Lyra's eyes widened. Move. The explosion ripped through the outpost, sending flames licking up the walls. Callan shielded Lyra with his body as debris rained down. The room filled with smoke and screams. When the dust settled, only one voice was still clearly audible. "Marcus Vale, you disappoint me," he coughed, limping out through a side exit. "Kill them." Callan pulled Lyra to her feet. "We need to go now," she nodded, clutching her ribs. They sprinted into the jungle as the outpost collapsed behind them. The serpents poured from the ruins, flashlights cutting through the trees, shouting commands. Callan and Lyra dove into tall ferns. Breathing quiet, movements precise. They crawled through the underbrush as heavy boots stomped inches away. Lyra whispered, "Callan, what he said about the crimson spore." He grabbed her hand. "Later. First we live." The jungle shifted. Insects rising from the ground, glowing in the dark. Fireflies? No, something else. Callan glanced up and cursed. They're releasing mandible swarms. Biologically modified flying insects. Drawn to body heat. Used for flushing out hiding targets. "Run!" Callan shouted. They sprinted downhill, swatting away insects as the swarm descended like a shimmering fog. Lyra tripped. Callan grabbed her arm, pulling her up. "Stay with me." They slid under fallen logs, crashed through brush, dove into a stream. The cold water repelled the insects, barely. "Callan," Lyra gasped. "I can't outrun this." "Yes, you can," he said fiercely. "You survived worse." She nodded, pushing forward. They reached a rocky overhang and hid beneath it. Above them, serpent voices echoed. "Marcus wants them alive. Spread out. They can't be far." Lyra leaned against Callan, exhausted, trembling. "Callan," she whispered, "I didn't tell you everything." He looked at her, breathing hard. "About the spore?" She nodded. "I didn't destroy it. I kept one sample. Locked away. Hidden in the jungle." Callan blinked. "You kept it?" Her voice cracked. "It was too dangerous for command to have it. Too dangerous for anyone. I thought if I hid it, no one could ever use it again." Callan exhaled. "Marcus found out." She nodded. "And now he wants me to recreate the cure." Callan squeezed her shoulder. "And we'll stop him." "But." "No, but." "Together." Her expression softened in pain and gratitude. As they rested, Callan noticed something peculiar. The rock wall behind them wasn't just stone. It had markings. Symbols. Black choir symbols, but older. Etched by a forgotten tribe. And beneath them, a door. A real one. Metal. Hidden under vines. Lyra inhaled sharply. "Oh no." Callan raised an eyebrow. "You know this place?" She nodded slowly. "This is where I hid the spore." Callan's voice dropped to a whisper. "Then Marcus will come here first." Lyra looked at him, fear in her eyes for the first time. "Callan, if he gets it." "He won't." He stood up. "We fight here. We finish this. No more running." Lyra rose beside him. "I'm with you." The jungle went eerily silent. The kind of silence that happens only before a storm. Footsteps approached. Dozens of them. Armored. Disciplined. Merciless. The iron serpents stopped at the clearing's edge. Their commander pointed toward the hidden metal door. "Set charges. No one leaves this jungle alive." Callan whispered. "This is it." Lyra whispered back. "Then let's make it count." They gripped their weapons. The jungle held its breath. And the war for the spore, for Lyra, for justice, was about to begin. Callan and Lyra stood shoulder to shoulder before the hidden metal door carved into the jungle cliff. Behind them, ancient vines hung like curtains. Before them, a kill zone of mud and roots. And beyond that, dozens of iron serpents. Marching, weapons raised, helmets reflecting torchlight. The serpent commander lifted his arm. "Target in sight. Advance." Callan whispered. "You ready?" Lyra tightened her grip on her stolen rifle. "No. But since when has that stopped us?" He smirked. "Fair point." The first wave charged. Callan fired a controlled burst, picking off the lead attackers. Lyra followed with precision shots, dropping another 3. But the serpents kept coming. "Fall back to the door." Callan shouted. They moved quickly, mud spraying, bullets slicing the air. Callan slammed his shoulder against the rusted control panel, ripping away vines. It's biometric. Lyra yelled. Good thing they left prints everywhere. He grabbed a fallen enemy, pressed his glove to the panel. Click. The door creaked open, stale air washing over them. Inside, Callan barked. Lyra slipped in first. He followed, firing one last volley, then slammed the door shut. Explosions shook the other side. The serpents were planting charges. They had minutes, maybe less. Callan activated his shoulder-mounted light. A massive underground corridor stretched before them, built of reinforced steel and concrete. Dust drifted from the ceiling. Lyra whispered, "This isn't just a hideout. This was a government research facility." Callan nodded. The kind they pretend never existed. Markings on the walls confirmed it. Bio 9, Contingency Lab, authorized personnel only. Lyra stopped, breath catching. That's where I created the cure. Callan placed a hand on her shoulder. We'll finish this. Together. They moved deeper. They entered a cavernous chamber lined with metal drawers and old computer terminals. Lyra's steps slowed. Callan, this is the memorial room. Memorial for what? She ran her fingers over a dusty plaque. Names. Hundreds of them. People who died in the Crimson Spore outbreak. She found a familiar one. Dr. Jensen Hale. Her father. Her voice cracked. He died here. I didn't know this was the place. Callan pulled her close, letting her lean into him. You didn't fail him, Lyra. You survived what no one could. She exhaled shakily. I won't let Marcus use this nightmare again. I swear it. And I swear I'll help you stop him. Moments passed, but they couldn't stay long. A distant explosion echoed. They're in, Callan warned. Lyra wiped her eyes. Let's go. They reached a sealed laboratory door. Lyra pressed her palm to the scanner. Shockingly, it still recognized her clearance. The door hissed open. Inside, vials, broken equipment, old reports scattered like ghosts of scientists who vanished. At the center of the room, a small cryo case. Lyra froze. That's it, she whispered. Callan stepped beside her. The spore. The last sample. She opened the case. Inside, a tiny container glowing faintly green. Callan exhaled. All this death, all this chaos for that. Lyra nodded. It's potent enough to collapse entire regions if released. No cure. No containment. She closed the case and strapped it to her vest. Then she said, if something happens to me. Callan cut her off sharply. Stop. But, no. You are not dying for this. End of discussion. Her eyes softened. Callan, Lyra, I didn't come here to recover a vial. I came here to recover you. Silence hung between them, but warm, grounding. Then, footsteps. Heavy ones. The lab door exploded inward. Iron serpents stormed in, firing. Callan grabbed Lyra and dove behind a console. Sparks flew. Glass shattered. Callan shouted, "Exit on the left." They sprinted down a side hallway as bullets tore into the walls. Sirens blared. Lights flickered red. The serpents followed fast. One lunged at Lyra. Callan tackled him, slamming the soldier's helmet into the wall. Another grabbed Callan from behind. Lyra shot him point blank. "Thanks," Callan gasped. "Don't mention it." They burst into a massive underground cavern spanned by a single narrow metal bridge. Below, a bottomless pit. Echoing. Cold. Callan looked across. There. The exit. But before they could reach it, Marcus Vale stepped out from the shadows on the far side. His arm bandaged. His smile sharp. "Impressive," he said. "You two always did work better together than apart." Lyra snarled. "Marcus, stop this. You don't need the spore." "Oh, but I do," he replied softly. "And so do the people funding me." Behind him, more serpents appeared. Callan raised his rifle. "You're outnumbered," Marcus said calmly. "You will lose." Callan grinned. "You forget. I'm very annoying to kill." Marcus sighed. "A shame. Kill them." Gunfire erupted. Callan and Lyra dove behind a support beam. Bullets ricocheted everywhere. Callan peeked out. A sniper round grazed his cheek. Lyra, we can't hold this position. She scanned the bridge structure. There. The maintenance cable. Callan followed her gaze. A thick steel cable connecting the bridge to the ceiling. Lyra raised her pistol. You shoot the left. I shoot the right. Callan blinked. That'll drop the bridge. I know. With us on it. I know. He smirked. I love our job. Shut up and shoot. They fired simultaneously. Both cables snapped. The bridge shuddered, groaned, and collapsed. Callan grabbed Lyra as they fell. Air rushed past them. Screams echoed. Then, a maintenance platform broke their fall. They slammed into it hard. Callan wheezed. Still alive. Lyra groaned. Barely. Above them, the bridge crashed into the abyss, taking several serpents with it. Marcus shouted orders. Find them. They cannot escape. Callan tried to stand. Pain shot through his leg. Fracture, he hissed. Lyra knelt beside him, shaking. Let me. She tore open his pant leg, assessing the injury. This is bad. He winced. Just patch it. She glared. Callan, you can't run on this. He touched her cheek gently. I don't need to run. I just need to get you out. Her eyes softened, trembling. Why do you always do that? Do what? Put me first. Because you do the same. She didn't deny it. They followed the maintenance tunnel, Callan limping heavily. Alarms blared. The facility locked itself down. They reached a ventilation shaft. It leads to the outer jungle, Lyra said. Callan nodded. You go first. No. You can't climb like this. He gritted his teeth. Yes, I can. Callan. Lyra. Go. She hesitated, then climbed. He followed, biting back pain. They emerged into moonlit jungle. The trees whispered. The night air felt cold after the heat of the lab. For a moment, just a moment, they breathed. Then, a voice echoed. You can't run from me. They turned. Marcus Vale stood in the clearing, alone, holding a pistol, and wearing a smile that promised death. Marcus stepped toward them slowly. Hand over the spore, Lyra, or I swear, I will end him. Callan stood in front of her, despite his injury. You'll have to go through me. Marcus raised his pistol. That was always the plan. The jungle fell silent again. Wind stilled. Moon dimmed. Stars seemed to fade. Lyra whispered. Callan. He didn't take his eyes off Marcus. It's okay. I'm right here. Marcus aimed. And part 5 ends with a gunshot tearing through the night. The gunshot cracked across the jungle like lightning. Birds scattered from the canopy. The night seemed to inhale sharply. Callan's body jolted. But he didn't fall. The bullet tore through the tree trunk behind him, missing by centimeters. Marcus sighed. I forgot, he said, lowering the smoking pistol. You always move at the worst possible moment. Callan smirked despite the pain in his leg. Timing is everything. Lyra pulled Callan back, raising her weapon. Marcus chuckled softly. Still fighting for each other. Still pretending you can win. His voice became colder. You're injured. She's exhausted. I have an army. He raised his hand. Trees around him shifted. Black silhouettes emerged. Snipers, scouts with thermal visors. The iron serpents surrounded them. Callan whispered out of the side of his mouth. Any bright ideas? Lyra whispered back. Only stupid ones. Perfect. Marcus lifted his pistol again, until a vibration shook the ground. A low, distant rumble. Lyra stiffened. Oh no. Callan frowned. What? Then he saw them. Jungle rhinos. Massive, territorial beasts with armored hides, notoriously aggressive during mating season. Drawn by the gunfire. Drawn by the smoke. Drawn straight toward the clearing. Marcus swore. Hold positions. But it was too late. The first rhino burst through the foliage like a battering ram. Serpents dove aside. Weapons dropped. Chaos exploded. Callan grabbed Lyra's hand. Move. They sprinted through dense jungle, dodging vines, roots, swarms of insects. Behind them, explosions, screams, beasts roaring, Marcus shouting orders drowned out by chaos. Lyra panted. We can't outrun the serpents forever. Callan nodded. We don't need forever. Just long enough. For what? That. He pointed ahead. A narrow ravine with a rope bridge crossing it. Lyra's eyes widened. You want to collapse it? Yes. You want us on it when it collapses? Preferably no. Callan. He squeezed her hand. Trust me. They sprinted across the unstable rope bridge. Below, a chasm so deep the sound never came back up. Halfway across, Callan fired at the supports on their side. Wood splintered. The bridge sagged violently. Lyra grabbed him. Go! They leapt just as the far support snapped. The bridge fell, and with it, the first wave of serpents chasing them. Marcus reached the cliff edge, eyes blazing. You can't run forever. Callan shouted back. Wasn't planning to, but he saw something in Marcus's expression. Not anger, not frustration, confidence. The kind of confidence held by someone with a second plan. Callan and Lyra followed an overgrown pathway until it opened into a massive ruin. A fortress swallowed by vines, roots, and time. Its towers crumbled, its walls cracked, but it still stood, proud despite decay. Lyra gasped. This is where the scientists evacuated during the outbreak. Callan nodded. Then it's where Marcus will corner us. She looked at him, her eyes shining, tired, terrified, but determined. We end it here? Yeah, he whispered. Here. Inside the fortress ruins, they scavenged supplies. Old grenades, rusted machetes, collapsed chemical barrels, flare guns, metal scraps they fashioned into traps, and a single heavy crossbow left by a long-gone hunter. Lyra tied a makeshift bandage around Callan's leg. You can't keep fighting like this. He cupped her cheek. I'll fight as long as you're breathing. Her eyes softened. You idiot. He smiled. You love that about me. Night deepened. Mist rolled through the jungle like ghostly waves. Then, footsteps. Steady, heavy, numerous. Marcus's voice echoed through the ruins. Lyra Hale. Callan Ward. Step forward. This ends tonight. Callan and Lyra stood atop the crumbling wall. Callan shouted. You want the spore? Come and take it. Marcus smirked. Oh, I will. He raised his arm. Attack. Serpents stormed the ruins. Callan fired down from the wall, dropping enemy after enemy. Lyra launched traps, tripwires, collapsing platforms, blinding flares. Explosions rocked the fortress. Serpents fell from crumbling stairs. Some were impaled on sharpened roots. Others drowned in underground water channels. Callan limped to a better vantage point. Lyra left flank. She spun, firing into the shadows. 3 serpents fell. Callan, watch out. A sniper targeted him from a broken tower. Lyra didn't hesitate. She threw herself into Callan, pushing him aside as the bullet missed by inches. They crashed into stone rubble. He landed on his back, breath knocked out. She landed on him, their faces inches apart. Callan whispered, You okay? Ask me later. Marcus moved through the battlefield untouched, protected by his elite guard. He climbed the stairs to the highest point of the fortress. Callan saw him. I'm going after him. Lyra grabbed his arm. You can barely stand. I don't need to stand. I just need to end this. She hesitated, then nodded. I'm right behind you. Callan reached the top tower first. Marcus stood waiting, pistol in hand, knife on his belt, smirk carved on his face. Just you and me now, Marcus said. Callan raised his rifle. Marcus shook his head. We both know you're out of rounds. Callan tried not to show surprise. Marcus drew his knife. Let's finish this like soldiers. Callan dropped his empty rifle and drew his own blade. Fine. The fight was brutal. Knife against knife. Kick against kick. 2 men who had once trusted each other, now fighting to the death. Marcus slashed Callan's arm. Callan punched Marcus in the throat. Marcus rammed Callan into a wall. Callan headbutted Marcus so hard the man stumbled. But Callan's injured leg buckled. Marcus grabbed him by the collar, dragging him toward the ledge. "This is where you fall," Marcus hissed. Callan spat blood. "You first." He twisted, but Marcus pinned him. The knife lifted. Then, a gunshot. Not Marcus's. Marcus froze. His eyes widened. He turned. Lyra stood at the tower entrance. Pistol raised. Breathing hard. Bruised. Bleeding. But standing. "Get away from him," she growled. Marcus staggered. "You wouldn't." Lyra fired again. The bullet struck Marcus in the chest. He fell off the tower. Down, down, down. Into the abyss below. Gone. Lyra rushed to Callan. He leaned against her, exhausted. "You saved me," he murmured. She smiled weakly. "For once." He chuckled. More serpents fled into the jungle. Without Marcus, their command broke instantly. The fortress grew quiet. The jungle exhaled. It was over. They sat at the tower edge as the sun began to rise. Golden light filtered through the canopy, illuminating the ruins, the vines, the broken battlefield. Lyra rested her head on Callan's shoulder. "We stopped it," she whispered. "No one will use the spore again." Callan nodded. "You did that." She shook her head. "We did it. Together." He wrapped an arm around her gently. "You ready to go home?" She looked at him with soft determination. "Only if you're coming with me." He smiled. "Always." The jungle warmed as sunlight spread. The war was over. They survived. Together. And far away, birds began to sing again. If you enjoy heroic military fiction, tactical storytelling, and cinematic narratives, subscribe for more powerful stories every week.